Lord of the Rings and orcs. So we're gonna read some passages here, a little few descriptions. Um, and this will kind of lead up to what I'm talking about because, quite frankly, once again proves they don't care. They don't care about lore. So for orcs, this is what we're talking about. Characteristics. For all that race were bred by Melkor of the subterranean heat and slime. Their hearts were of granite and their bodies deformed. Foul their faces which smiled not, but their laugh that of the clash of metal, and 'tis nothing were they more fain than the aid in the basis of the purposes of Melkor. All right, so there's a kind of an in-book description. Um, in J.R.R. Tolkien's writing, orcs were cruel, sadistic, black-hearted, vicious, and hateful of most things, particularly of those who were orderly and prosperous. They were short in stature, unless of the Uruk variety, and humanoid in shape. They were generally squat, broad, flat-nosed, sallow-skinned, bow-legged, with wide mouths and slant eyes, long arms, dark skin, and fangs. Tolkien describes one huge orc chieftain as almost man-high, so almost the size of a man. We see most orcs are generally smaller, like female size, generally shorter. Um, and some must have been close to a hobbit height, as Sam and Frodo were able to disguise themselves as orcs in Mordor. Yeah, if you don't remember that. They were roughly humanoid in shape, with pointed ears, sharpened teeth, and grimy skin. Their appearance was considered revolting by most of the other races. Um, then they talk about how good they are with making tools and stuff like that. Um, this was so since the time Melkor bred them in an unknown process from mutilated and corrupted elves. They hated themselves and had an even deeper secret hatred from Melkor, thus resulting as a violent and warlike race in a perpetual state of chaos with itself and others. Despite their abominable nature, orcs were often crafty and clever rather than dim-witted. Tolkien writes that they were capable smiths and craftsmen, though things of their making are described as crude compared to those of the free peoples. Orcs are developed tunnel making so as to dwell underground away from the light. It is also worth noting that orcs prefer to do no more work than they can help, as they would rather coerce others into working for them. Wickedness and violence were in their nature, and it was not uncommon for them to kill each other in petty quarrels. They had a destructive effect on nature, especially forests, and often destroy trees to fuel their warlike making, or their war making, particularly those near Isengard, which we saw like Sauron just was like all the forest near him. Just he wanted all of it gone. Orcs have unchangeable disdain for all elves, dwarves, and men. Uh, though they fought alongside wicked men under Morgoth and then Sauron in the first, second, and third ages, and were also said to have made alliances with wicked dwarves. Why are we talking about this? Why are we talking about orcs, John? Because orcs are just misunderstood now. Here's just a mommy orc and a baby orc, and she just wants what's best for her orc. She just wants what's best for her baby. That now we have male orcs who are family men, who are just going out and doing what they have to help their family survive. That they, I think, perfect thing comes to mind right now.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
15 minutes.
What are you doing, Rings of Power? Once again proving You don't give a shit about the lore. You don't give a shit about Tolkien and his works. You don't care about fans. What is the shit? This is just from like what episode number 1 of season 2. What are you doing? Why do these people insist on the they're just misunderstood? There's some creatures like the orcs who aren't misunderstood. It's like the quote from The Dark Knight with Alfred. Some men can't be bought, bullied, reasoned, or negotiated with. Some men just want to watch the world burn. That's the orcs. They're not good creatures. There are some creatures that are just born evil. Some, you know, as they say, the foul creatures of the earth. You're not going to find orcs with little families and this isn't like World of Warcraft where you have like Thrall and his kids or Sourfang and his these orcs in Lord of the Rings, they're evil. They're bad. And you saw how they're born. There are no orcs getting it on and having tiny baby orc children. Why? What was this? I gave the benefit of the doubt to Rings of Power Season 2, and after 26 minutes of the first episode, I can say that this is bad. Why do they try to rewrite Sauron for modern audiences as someone weak and that no one is afraid of? Yeah, this is Sauron we're talking about. Everyone's afraid of him. The orcs were like, whatever, let's kill him. He's just Sauron. And Galadriel, man, they are making it difficult to root for her again. I'll keep watching, but this is not looking good. Clearly not following the story properly. Dude, what the fuck? This was amazing. Orcs aren't evil. All they want is freedom to raise their families in peace. It's puzzling to see Rings of Power not only attempt to make orcs sympathetic, but also design them as ugly even before their fall. In Tolkien's Legendarium, orcs were originally elves, or possibly men, who were beautiful and pure before being corrupted by Morgoth. The transformation into orcs was meant to be a horrific perversion, a tragic loss of their original splendor. By depicting them as grotesque from the start, the show undermines the tragic aspect of their story. It misses the mark on conveying the depth of their fall from grace, which was central to Tolkien's portrayal of evil. Yeah, nerdrotic. Orcs just want a safe place to raise their kids, be evil, and practice their corrupt form in a life of peace. What? Oh, the warg. Okay. I was scrolling through and I saw that. I'm like, what the hell is that? It looks like some Resident Evil, Silent Hill bullcrap. And then I realized that it was the warg. Um, Very non-orc features of the group on this actor, but they look corrupted and ready for whatever. I'm tired of the misunderstood villain trope. Remember in the original Lord of the Rings lore, when orcs were just evil because evil doesn't have to be justified by a sob story? Exactly. It's like I said, that quote is the perfect example. Some beings are just evil. Like Shelob, you know? You have Shelob. You could try negotiating with her, saying, "Oh, please don't kill me." No, she's just an evil creature. You can't reason with her. Um, so also you didn't see any baby orcs in Peter Jackson's adaptations because that's not how orcs are made. They're men, goblins, elves, taken and twisted, and mutated from their original form into pure evil. Not some happy little refugee family who just want to be safe. Wait, what was this? In honor of this Rings of Power nonsense, my Castles and Crusades group is likely to slaughter all remaining orcs in the Caves of Chaos tonight. At respect for Tolkien. Orcs have no redeeming features to matter. No matter what the Rings of Power likes to portray, they are evil. Full stop. Now, I mean, I'm almost 40 years old, so the full stop thing. But yeah, like these are the we see them have. It's just like the description, quarrels, and they'll kill each other for the dumbest reason. They're not good beings. Even Sauron, remember Saruman when he's talking and saying, "Do you know how the orcs first came to be?" You know, they're not like they had sex, you know. No, they were twisted. They were men and elves, twisted and warped. Uh, they don't have children in the conventionals because that's not how it works. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. I was so sure this was a joke slash exaggeration, but oh my god, Rings of Power actually small beanified the orcs. If the forced diversity in the Rings of Power wasn't insufferable enough, they've now introduced loving orc husbands who just want to live in peace and safety with their orc wives and orc children. Season 2 of Rings of Power. Orcs have families now. What the fuck? What commie claptrap are you trying to pull now, Amazon? One of the ways Sauron increased his orcs and their strength was breeding them with humans. Saruman was much more successful at this. Even Sauron and his fighting Orcai were the result, and his half orc and half and orc men, and it wasn't through romantic familial love. Yeah, yeah. Sauron getting bullied by orcs. Season 2 introduces us to an orc family. I Pander, Rings of Power presents Orc Moms of Mordor fighting for orc HOA rights, pride parades, and wellness retreats in Paradise. Draw Circle Tuesdays, healing the eye within Wednesday, and how Orcling Timmy avoids heartburn after eating from humans. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Wait, the great. This is from 2020, but the greatest Lord of the Ring orcs meets back on the menu. Or Kai Olympic tour. Yeah, that was pretty epic. That was pretty great. I took a little sloth from the Goonies. Took a little tumble. Took a little tumble off the cliff. Oh my god, that's amazing. That's amazing. I'm afraid to keep scrolling because the further you scroll, sometimes the more what Rings of Power is literally making the orcs out to be the same as the mass immigrants. What are you shooting for? Um, let's see. I really like that they've given the orcs personality and free will, but that's not how the orcs are. That's not the character of the orcs. Again, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Saruman being able to create orcs is something is straight up spitting in the face Tolkien blah blah blah. There's nothing close to the level of ignoring Tolkien's themes in Rings of Power. Having Saruman be able to create life. There's here we got some orcs. Yeah, this is how people expect orcs. You know, like they can be evil, but they can be nice. Like Durotan. You know, he has a son. Gromosh, same thing. He has Garrosh. You know, he had a son. He had a mate. So, Rings of Power is not respected a single sentence of Tolkien's work, but I don't even think works in the context of Tolkien because they are just generic goon villains for the ring wraith and Sauron. So you can see for the most part, people are like, why? Why? Why do they do this? Why do they take someone's work, especially with a person who's dead and can't say anything about it? Why do they take a person's work and just shit all over it? Why? Orcs do not have families. They don't have families. They don't have baby orcs cradled in their arms. No, no, don't little orky. No, it's okay. Daddy will be home soon. He's just going off to fight the Numenorians. That's not how this works. Why do people insist on shitting all over someone's legacy? Shitting all over the established lore? Even if you want to say, oh, well, how is Sauron able to create new orcs? He still looks like he's still some kind of process, some kind of ancient process that did it the first time. So, you know, they had to give a backstory to orcs, and he's like, oh yeah, they were twisted and warped, and they were, they were. They're not born in a conventional sense. You're not going to see a mommy orc and a daddy orc. You're not going to see orcs families. They're twisted. They're humans and elves who are twisted and warped and corrupt and darkened and, you know, what is this crap? What the fuck is this? We were They don't care. You can trust us. We respect Tolkien and his lore. We respect it. We just want to tell the story about the Second Age. We just because it's never been explored, and we wanted to explore it. No, they don't. They just want to fuck with everything that Tolkien has established. Again, orcs. They can't be bought, bullied, reasoned, or negotiated with. Some men just want to watch the world burn. They're evil creatures. Well, you can say, oh well, that's not really great for orcs because the craftsmen and this and that, so they can be bought and this and that. The point of the quote is some creatures are just evil. Some creatures are just chaotic. Some creatures don't have families and can't have real human connections, and they just can't. Some creatures like orcs, they're just evil. You know, if you say please don't kill me, you know, another race might feel sympathetic and might stop. Orcs aren't going to do that. They're going to kill you, and probably in the most brutal of ways. You can't reason with them. But they want to take these creatures that are villains, they're evil creatures, like, oh, they're sympathetic now. They're just misunderstood. They really have orc wives and babies, and these male orcs are just trying to make a better. No, stop. Fuck. And this is just episode 1. I know it looks like they fucked up Tom Bombadil based on where he lives and his character. They took jolly Tom Bombadil and made him like, my name's Tom Bombadil. But hopefully when he pops up, he'll be his same joyful self. And if he doesn't have his wife, that'll just kind of once and for all prove they don't care. They don't care. Episode 1, episode 1, season 2 of Rings of Power, and we have orc families. You don't hate these people enough. You don't. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.